Hello everyone, welcome again to another video. So in today's tutorial we are going to learn about how to make a beaded tissue box in a simple way. So I'm going to just mix bead with colors, different colors of bead to make this tissue box, and I'm going to start with white. Okay, they are all in 8mm and we are going to start with 4 bead. Let me show you the 50-pound beading wire that I'm going to use, and here is the thickness of it. I have a little plier to cut off my lines. That's what we are going to use today. This is my line, and I'm going to start with 4 bead. Okay, I'm going to string this 4 bead on my line. So take your bead and start with 4 bead. Now I'm going to hold the last one and cross the other line into it and pull like this. Now we have something like this. This is 4 flower beading. We are going to continue again, adding 3 beads. So on each line, I'm going to put one bead on each line like this. And I'm going to cross both ends of my line into this one and pull. Is 4 flower beading. They are sharing one in common, and we'll continue to add 3 to it. This is how it's looking like. We have 2 flowers done. On each line, add one bead. Okay, on each line I'm going to add 1 bead on each line, like what I'm doing over here, like this. Then I'm going to cross in this bead, cross both ends of my line into this bead and pull. Now we have 3 flowers done. This is how it's looking like. Again, on each line I'm adding one bead, then I'm going to cross into this 3rd one and pull. We have 4 done already. I'm going to repeat the same technique, adding 3, add one, then I'm going to cross into this one and pull. So in all, I'm going to add, we have 5 done, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? So I'm going to add 7 more to it, then I'll meet you back here. Now I made 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so on this 12 I'm going to add 3 more. So I'm going to add all 3 to this line, and that will be my left line. Adding it to my left line like this. Then I'm going to cross and turn and continue to weave. But let me show you one thing, okay? Let me show you something. If you are left-handed, turn this way to your side to feel comfortable. You add all this bead to the right side of your line, okay? That way it can turn on your side of left so you can weave on. But because I'm right-handed, I'm going to add on all this so I can turn and weave. Just throwing that out there, okay? Just to make you understand where to add your bead. Okay, now let's continue. So this line, we are going to repeat the same thing over here. My line is in this bead over here, so we are going to continue forward. This is the structure we are creating. So on each line, I'm adding one bead. We're doing the same thing over here. Then I'm going to cross both ends of my line into this and pull. I'm going to repeat the same technique. On each line, one bead on each line, and I'm going to cross both ends of my line into this bead and pull. Again, we are going to do the same thing. So again, I add one bead to my line, and I'm crossing into this one and pull like this. Okay, so we are going to continue to make 12, then we turn on 13. So I want you to count like this. If you want to count, start from this corner. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you count forward and make 12. Okay, make 12. You count from the corner. So now we make 12 over here. I'm going to count for you to see. 1, 2, 3. Start from the corner, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay? So this is 12. I'm going to turn again on 13. So I'm going to add 3 bead to this line. This line, 3 bead. I'm adding all these 3 bead to my line. Then I'm going to cross with my other line. I'm going to cross the last bead of my other line and pull like this. Then we are going to go forward again, okay? And we are going to repeat the same technique to weave this one too. On each line, I'm adding one bead on each line, then I'm crossing it into this bead and pull. Remember, we are doing 4 flower beading. It's 4 flower beading. One on each line, cross into the 3rd bead and pull. I'm going to add again. I'm going to continue to do the same thing. Add one bead on each line and cross both ends of your line into the 3rd one and pull. So we are going to continue again, repeat the same thing 12 times. Then we turn on 13 and weave to meet this one. Okay, this is how it's looking like. Continue to make your. I'm done making it to 13, and this one I make 11. 9, 10, 11, okay? 11 I made here. Now on my line, I'm going to add one bead on each line like this. Then I'm going to cross both ends of my line into this one. I'm crossing both ends of my line to join this piece on this one. I'm crossing both ends into this bead over here, the edge bead. This bead, okay? This bead. Let me pull the line out. This bead, that's where I cross my line into. Now pull to join. Like this, and this is how our structure that we are going to weave on is looking like, a square structure. Okay, so this line I'm just going to weave it back into the bead a little bit, then I trim it off, and this is how it's looking like. We are going to continue to weave. So now we are going to work on the edge bead round. Work on the edge bead round. I'm going to start with this bead. I'm pulling my line through this bead over here, the edge bead. Okay, this bead. I'm going to start with blue bead. This time I'm just going to mix colors. I'm starting with 3. I'm going to cross the last one with my other line and pull. This line into the next bead. I'm adding 2 beads to my line. Into the next bead, 2 beads. Add 2 beads to the line, cross and pull. I'm going to go into the next one. Sometimes the line tangles, so you just watch well. Make sure your line is free. Into the next bead, 2 beads. Going to go into the next bead, add 2 beads to your line. Now into the next bead. So I'm continuing with yellow bead, so I add 1 white and 1 yellow. I'm going to use the white to create a line in between the beads. 2 yellows, 2 yellow beads. I'm just going to mix colors over here. Yellow into the next bead, 2 bead. Into the next bead again, 2 bead. I'm going to go into the next bead, and I'll be adding 2 bead. Now I'm in the last bead over here in the corner, right here in the corner. Go through the corner bead. I'm going to add 2 bead to my line. So feel free to use your own choice of colors of bead, okay? If you're using just one color, just go round and then complete. So I'm going to do pink over here. Yes, pink. Just go right into the next bead and continue your weaving. I'm just going to put pink on this edge. Into the next bead, 2 bead. I'm going to go, this is how it's looking. I'm going to go round with colors. This is how it's looking like, okay? I'm just adding colors to it. Yellow, pink, and blue. That's what I'm using. So I'm going to show you how we are going to step up. So I'm in my last bead over here. I'm adding 2 bead to my line. 2 bead. So now we are going to step up again this line into this bead and this one. So I'm going to pull it through this corner bead over here, the corner bead. I'm going to go through this one like this. And the number of bead we need to complete this is 1 bead. Like this. Now we step up. We are going to start again another row. I'm adding 3 bead to start. Has 2 yellows and 1 blue. Because I'm going to enter blue, I pick up the last bead as blue, okay? For blue, then it's going to help me continue to weave on the blue. Into the next bead, I'm just going to add the colors, build on the top of the layers that I made. I add 2 blue, so I'm going to build on the colors. Go round to complete. I add 2 blue bead. Because I'm building on blue, I'm adding blue over here. I'm going to go into the next bead and add 2 blue bead. Into the next one, 2 bead. I'm going to go into the next one, 2 bead. Into the next bead, add 2 bead to your line. This is the last bead I'm going through. 2 bead. Okay. Now I'm going to go through the white, and because I'm entering the yellow, I'm going to the white one. I'm going to add 1 white and 1 yellow bead, and that will help me to continue building on the yellow too. Like this, you see. I'm going to go through the next bead. I'm just using the white to create a line in between the colors. That's what I'm doing over here. I'm going to go to the next bead. Add 2 bead to your line. So this is how it's looking like. I'm just going to build round on it. On each colors, I'm going to put the same colors at the spot that I put the colors. So this is how it's looking like. Now I want to show you how to step up again and build on it. Okay, this is where my line is. I'm going to go through this and this bead. This is, I'm going through my last bead over here and go through the bead on the side. Hit this one, okay? Then I'm going to add 1 bead. This is where my line is. It's in 3 bead, so I need only 1 bead to complete this row. Like this. Then we step up again and build on it again. This line, 3 bead. I'm starting with 3. Then I'm going to continue going through 1 and add 2 beads. So I'm going to go through 1 bead and add 2 bead. If you step up, you start with 3, then the next follows, add 2 bead will be added. I'm now entering blue. I add 1 blue to start, then I'm going through the next bead and I'm adding 2 blue. If you have only 1 color, just go round and weave on it. You don't have to worry about colors and then building on colors. This is how it's looking like. I'm going to go round 1 time again to make 3 layers of these colors and come back, and I'll meet you back here. This is how it's looking like. Very pretty. The colors are showing up pretty and beautiful already. It is so beautiful. Okay, you see I made 3 rows. I built on each of these colors. This is how it's looking like. It's very, very beautiful. Very beautiful. Let's continue. So my line is in this. I'm going to build on the white. I'm going to change colors on top of each color, okay? This is where my line is, in this pink bead over here. I'm going to build on, I'm going to use blue. I start with 3 blue, cross and pull. I'm going to go into the next bead, 2 blue. Let me put this line in it to hold it down, okay? So cross and pull into the next bead, 2 bead. I'm going to go to the next bead, 2 bead. To the next, add 2 bead to your line. I'm going to go to the next one and add 2 bead. So by here I'm just changing colors on top. I want to do different colors. Over here I'm going to add yellow. So I start with yellow on top of the blue. And when I reach yellow, I'm going to add pink on top of that yellow. So I'm adding yellow over here. I'm going through each bead and adding 2 bead to it. Go through the next bead, add 2 bead to your line. I'm going to continue with pink and the white. I'm adding white first before the pink, so you can create that line in between the colors. Very beautiful. Into the next bead, add 2 bead. So I'm adding 2 pink over here. I'm adding pink on top of the yellow, and this is how I'm going to change colors, go round and complete like this. This is how it's looking like. Very, very beautiful already. This is pretty and beautiful. So let's continue again. Let me show you how I did the colors. I'm pulling my line through this pink over here, the pink bead. I'm going to go round this to this corner. I'm going to start from here, another color to here. Okay, I'm going corner to, from here I'm going to go here to complete. So I'm starting with blue. I'm going to do blue into the next bead, add 2. Into the next 2 bead. Into the next bead, add 2 bead to your line. I'm going to go to the next bead and add 2 bead. Into the next. From here I'm going to turn and continue with my blue through halfway. Into the next bead. 2 bead. I'm going to go to the next bead and now add 2 bead to my line. Into the next 2 bead. Now I'm going to drop my white over here. I'm going through the white bead. I'm going to pick up white first, then I'll build yellow from here to the other corner. I'm starting with yellow over here. I'm going to go through yellow up to here, and this is how it's looking like. Very pretty and very beautiful. Look at how the basket is looking like. Now we are going to complete the top. Okay, we are going to cover the top. I'm going to 2 bead on the corner. We are going to start with 2 bead over here. So I pull my line through this 2 bead in the corner, and I'm adding 2 bead to my line. I'm going to go to the next, and now I'll be adding 2 bead. 2 bead. Now into the next bead. Over here too, we are going to go through each bead and add 2 bead to our line. Into the next 2 bead. I'm going to go through the next bead, 2 bead. If you are using just one color bead, just go round. You don't have to worry about changing colors. Just go round and complete, and just pick any choice of your colors of bead and make this beautiful tissue box for yourself. So I'm going through each bead and then adding 2 bead. Now I'm going to continue with my yellow. I'm just going to stack the colors over here, 2 yellow bead. Okay, I'm just going to continue with the same color. Now we are in the corner again. We are going to go through 2 bead. I'm going to go to this and this one, and I'm adding 1 bead to my line. Okay, if you're in corner, remember 2 beads in the corner. You have to go through 2 bead. Into the next bead, add 2 bead to your line. I'm going to go through the next one, continue, and remember the corners. Okay, the corners, you are going to go through 2 bead in the corner. Adding white to create that line over there before I continue with another color. That's what I'm creating with the white bead. So now we are in another corner again. I'm going to go through these 2 bead. I'm going to go through these 2 bead in the corner. This is the first. I'm going to pull it through the second. Now the number of bead I need, only 1 bead to complete. Okay, 1. If you don't go through 2 bead, you are not going to have the shape that we are having over here. So go through 2 bead in the corner, remember that. Now you go through the next bead and add 2 bead. 2 bead. Going to go through the next one. Okay, now look at it. You see the corners? See how the shape is taking? That is how we are going to go around and complete. And now this is how it's looking like. Look at the corners. We go to 2 and you have the same thing I have over here. Now we are going to complete this and step up and continue to build on this one. I'm going to go to this bead first and the one on the side, so we can step up again this one. I'm going to go through this bead. Now the number of bead I need, only one. You see my line is in 3 bead. 1, 2, 3. That's where my line is. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now I need only 1 bead to complete this row. Then I step up again. We continue. Now I'm going this line into the next bead. Into the next bead. Okay. Now my line is in 2 bead in the corner over here. So I'm going to continue, go through each bead and add 2 bead. 2 bead. Into the next bead, 2 bead. We are going to build on this one. Remember to go through 2 bead in the corner. I'm going to go to this, continue like that. We are on the corner. I'm going to show you one more time. This is the corner right here, okay? So I'm going to go through this and this one. I'm going to pull my line through this bead. And this. I need 1 bead to complete this corner. 1, okay? Pulling my line. I'm going to go into the next bead. Two bead. Into the next bead, 2 bead. So continue round and complete, continue to 1 time, okay? This is how it's looking like. This is the shape that we will have. So here is my line and we are going to continue. I'm going to create a rectangular shape in the middle over here so we can pull our tissue through. So I'm going to go through these 2 bead in the corner, these 2. I'm going to go through these 2 bead over here. 1, 2. Okay, those 2 bead over there. This is where my line is. And I'm going to start with 2 bead. I'm going to go to the next bead. And I'll be adding 2 bead. Into the next bead. I'm going to go to the next bead and now be adding 2 bead. Into the next, I'm going to add 1 white and 1 blue bead. Into the next, 2 bead. Into the next bead, 2 bead. I'm going to go through these 2 bead, this one, and this one. Go to this, and I'll be adding 1 bead. I'm going to pull my line through the next bead, this one. Then I'm turning back. I pick 1 white and 1 blue because I want white to be on the edge. I'm going to the next bead, 2 bead. I'm using the white to create a line on the edge. I'm going back. I'm adding 1 white and 1 blue. Again, I'm going to go through all these edge bead and add 2 bead to my line. Going through this one, I'm adding 2 beads, one white and one pink. So this is my last one. I'm going to go through this and this one right here. So 2 in the corner over there. So I'm pulling my line through those 2 beads over there. Then I'll be adding 1 bead to my line. So over here, I'm just going to tie and weave the rest of the line into the bead and then trim it off. I'm tying here, nice and neat. So now that we get the first edge done, we are going to do the second edge too. We complete this side, we complete here, we are going to do the other side too. So I'm going to pull my line, these 2 beads. I'm pulling my line through these 2 beads. We are going to repeat the same weave over here, these 2 beads. I'm going to add 2 beads to my line. I'm going to go to the next bead, 2 beads. Into the next, 2 beads. To the next bead, 2 beads. Going to go through the next bead and I'll be adding 2 beads to my line. So all the edge bead you go through and add 2 beads. Into the next bead, I'm going to go through 2 beads over here, this and this one, these 2. Then I'll add 1 bead. Now I'm going to go to the next bead. What we did for the first side, we are doing the same thing over here. Go through the next bead, add 2 beads, 1 white, 1 blue. Into the next, 1 white, 1 blue. I'm going to pull through the white and add 1 white, 1 yellow until we complete this side, because we want a rectangular shape in the middle so we can pull our tissue freely through it. It is looking very beautiful already. Into the last bead, I'm pulling 1 white and 1 yellow. Now I'm going to go through 2 beads, this and this one. Okay, remember we go through 2, then we are adding 1 bead to complete that section. This is how it's looking like. For the rest of this line, I'm just going to weave it back into the bead and trim it off. Look at the edge. I put the white around the edge, and this is how it's looking like. Very, very beautiful. This is our tissue box is complete. So we are going to cover the bottom of it. This is how it's looking like. Very, very colorful, very pretty. So we are going to make something to cover the base, the bottom of it. Now I'm starting with 4 beads. This is 4 flower beading that I'm weaving over here. I start with 4. I'm going to continue the same technique we used to create the basket. I'm using the same technique over here. So I'm going to weave long 13 times, because we weave 13. I'm going to weave this 13. So this is 2 flower done. I'm making the 3rd one. I'm crossing both ends of my line. This is how it looks like. Okay, I'm going to continue to make 13. This one I add yellow to the end. So this is 12. I'm going to turn on this 12 to make 13 rows. I'm going to turn over here. I make 12 already, so I turn. So I'm going to continue adding bead to this row. 2 bead. I'm going to go through the next bead and I'll be adding 2 bead. 2 bead. So I'll be going through the edge bead and be adding 2 bead to my line, and I'll go round, turn and weave until I make 6 rows. So I'm going to continue, go ahead and then continue to make 6 rows of this, and that is what we are going to do. Then I'm going to use white to create a line in between, and now make another 6 again. And so in all we are going to make 13. I'm going to add my last bead over here, going through the last bead, and I'll add 2 beads. This is the last bead I'm adding over here. I add 1 yellow and 1 white, like this. Then I'm going to start on the blue again, to add blue to the blue side. Yeah, like this. And we are going to continue to create this into the next bead. Then I'm going to continue. This is how it's looking like, and we are going to continue to make 6 rows, and this is how it's looking like. Okay, I make 6 rows of this, so my next line is going to be white in the middle. Then I continue with another color. This is 6. This is how it's looking like, and I'm going to create around the edge 1 time. I'm going to build on the edge. This is where I'm going to create another color, pink, and then blue over here to make a square. Then I'm going to go around the edge and then come up 1 time. This is how it's looking like. So this is how the weave is looking like, colorful. Okay, so after I weave around the edge 1 time, then I come inward 1 time, like how we did for the top. Okay, the top, this is how I did over here 1 time, round the edge. That's what I did, and I'm going to show you how we are going to attach it to the base. We are going to attach it to the base like this, and you can carry it wherever you want to put it and not be afraid that the tissue is going to fall from it. That's what we are going to do. So I'm going to show you how we are going to attach it. So this is my line. I'm going to go through this edge bead over here. I'm pulling my line through the edge bead, this bead, okay? And I'm going to add 1 bead to my line. 1 bead I'm going to add to my line. And I'm going to hold the other end and go through the edge bead of over here, this white bead. I'm going to go through it. This is my bead I add to the line, okay? So pull. Then I take another bead and I'm crossing both ends of my line into it and pull. Like this. And now I'm going to go to this line into the next bead, and this, the left line, into this one too. I'm going through this bead. I'm going to hold my other line and go to the next bead on the other side. I'm taking 1 bead, cross both ends of my line into it and pull. Like this. And now we are going to repeat the same thing into the next bead. I'm going to go through the next bead and on the left side I'm going to hold it and go through the next bead, this one. Take 1 bead, cross both ends of your line into it and pull. This is how it's looking like. Into the next, 1 more time. Then we continue to do it off camera and you do yours too, and I'll meet you back here. Cross and pull. And this is how it's looking like. We are going to continue the same way, continue like that. Go through each bead on the opposite side, go through and add 1 bead, cross both ends of your line, and then complete it. This is how it's looking like so far. It looks pretty and beautiful. So continue to do yours and now do mine off camera. And this is how it's looking like. Very, very beautiful. Our tissue box is almost done. We completed. This is how it's looking like. If you have a button, if you have any bead, you can put it on. I teach this in many of my videos. So we are just going to make a loop and hook it. That way you can hold the tissue back, pick it up and put on wherever you want to without being afraid of dropping, okay? Dropping the tissue from it. So this is the flower I made. I make a loop over here and I'm going to hook on it to close. So you put your tissue here, pull it through, close the base and hook it on the side. That way your tissue stays in. You can move it wherever you want to move the box to. Okay, this is how it's looking like. Very, very beautiful. Our tissue box is done. It's so pretty and beautiful. Look at it. You can make it yourself. So simple and easy to make. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Bye.